Aw.
Happy birthday, Kyle. it's Kyle's birthday when we're filming this. Katie made you a cupcake. You don't have to tell.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you.
You don't have to tell people how old you are if you don't want, but did you make a good wish?
I wish to be younger.
Fantastic.
Oh. Sorry. That's my mom, by the way.
Probably wishing you a happy birthday, Kyle. Hello, welcome back to the 120-something, 7th, I believe, episode of Good Bad Media Show. I share movie stuff. You should too. I'm your host, Mr. Brian Chiligo, joined, as always, but not usually, the birthday boy, Mr. Kyle Hinton. Kyle, when you're watching this episode, you at home, it is not Kyle's birthday, but when we are recording this,
yes,
it is. And I need to get a nice close-up of the icing job Katie did on this.
Oh, it's so good.
It's delightful.
It's gonna probably melt, but you know what?
It's probably gonna melt. We'll leave it over here.
You know, we captured it. We captured it in the moment.
In the moment. So make sure you leave some nice birthday wishes in the comments on this video. Kyle, this is your episode. We're talking about a 1999 film starring a veteran of Good Bad or Bad Bad, a one Mr. Eric Roberts. The film is
Heaven's Fire.
Why the fuck is it called that?
No clue.
I thought this was going to be a religious movie or something.
No.
It's not at all. It's just a heist. It's Die Hard, Towering Inferno.
Exactly. That's what
Smush them together.
That's exactly how I wrote it. Die Hard, Towering Inferno.
That's literally all it is. And it's something. It's a film. It's actually not the worst thing
For those of you
watched.
who don't know Towering Inferno, that's a film, that's a film from the 70s.
Is that the 70s?
That was probably the film that started launching OJ's.
This is what I'm worried about. All those beams in that glass.
Chief, 81 has been evacuated, but it doesn't look too good up there.
Yeah, it was OJ's had a big role, or relatively large role in that. I haven't seen that since I was a little kid. My dad was like, we're watching Towering Inferno when I was like 8 or something, probably. And then I don't think I've seen it since then. But yeah, this movie's basically just Towering Inferno meets Die Hard.
Yep.
So let's just talk about it. Opening credits right in, whooshy fire, super 90s text. It's real cheesy. This is also a made-for-TV movie.
You can because there's a couple points,
we get commercial
what we
breaks.
call stinger breaks is what we like to call them.
Where it's like, bah, bah, bah.
Yeah, and then
it fades out, and then it goes back in. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Eric Roberts in late 90s, early 2000s TV films. That's kind of our bag.
Yeah, it's definitely your bag when you're picking the movies. It's
sorry,
you don't have to apologize.
I know, but it's what, because like Eric Roberts is a kind of actor who just like does everything.
Yes,
he's like Nick Cage, but like not as what does he call his acting style?
Fucking loose cannon. I don't know what
new shamanic or whatever it is.
I don't know this. I don't know anything
about this. But like Nicolas Cage can't say no, but Nicolas Cage is crazy. Yeah. Eric Roberts can't say no because Eric Roberts has mortgages to pay.
Yeah, he owes somebody money somewhere. It feels like for all the movies that he's been in. So this movie,
600 acting credits on IMDb.
600? Yeah. He either owes a lot of people a lot of money, or he just really loves being in shit movies. Like, he just fucking eats it up. Going with the former, probably, but you never know. Maybe it's just his thing. So this movie opens up with not Eric Roberts, but another actor who I recognized.
Was it like his name is like very? Is it Norway?
Norwegian? I wrote Jürgen Prochnow. Is how it's spelled.
Very Scandinavian.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe Polish.
Maybe Polish. He plays one of the main villain in this movie, essentially.
Nice work, Quentin. A little tight on the sleeves, but the old baby still fits.
I knew I recognized him from something, and it turns out it's from several things. One, he was in Das Boot, the submarine movie. that won, I think it won a bunch of Oscars. He was also which I kind of recognize him from. More importantly, I recognized him from Beer Fest. He's like the German villain in Beer. One of the German
Is he like the
He's like the main guy, I think, who like runs the Beer Fest or whatever.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm pretty sure. And
I was about ready to say, because there's the German team leader too, but I thought that was David Hasselhoff at one point.
Maybe.
Or maybe they were disrespecting David Hasselhoff.
It's possible.
By losing.
Ihr seid eine Schweine! Ihr habt Schande über unser Haus gebracht!
He's also in Air Force One. He plays the general that they're trying to get out of the... I don't know if you've seen Air Force One recently.
It's been a while.
But, like, so they take over Air Force One, and their whole ploy is they want to get them to release this, like, political prisoner who's this sergeant guy. Who's like part of their, like the leader of their whatever, their army or their rebellion or whatever, and he plays that guy.
Yeah, I just remember Gary Oldman with a goatee and Harrison Ford.
He's not Gary
Get
Oldman.
Off my plane.
Get off my plane, and then he breaks his neck with a parachute. It's awesome. It's fucking wild.
Get off my plane.
But no, he's that guy. He's been in a ton of stuff. Again, like probably Polish or something actor somewhere in Europe. And he plays our villain in this movie. Opens up, he broke his leg on a parking lot in the middle of the forest. And I was like, what is this?
Brian, I'm horribly distracted by your hair right now.
Oh no, is it? Oh yeah. I'm getting it cut soon because it's so annoying in the summer. It's so warm. I hate it. It's just like, when I'm outside.
They have an emergency call. They're trying to get a call out for a helicopter evac because his leg's
I'm on Edward's trail. My boyfriend, he fell. I think his leg is broken.
His leg's broken, and it's so funny to me. I was like, wow, it's really lucky that he broke his leg on this big flat concrete slab in the middle of the woods. And now, turns out that's all part of their ploy. It's all a scam.
I've broken my leg in a vacant parking lot.
Yeah, and like, again, in the middle of nowhere. I was like, what is that? It's such a strange like structure in the middle of the woods.
Well, supposedly our movie is based in Washington State.
Yeah,
it's Seattle specifically.
Yeah, Seattle. And
so we didn't get a shot of the Space Needle, and I was a little disappointed.
Do we not?
I don't think we do.
When does it? It was built before. This is '99, so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. So he goes. Maybe there's like licensing involved with filming the Space Needle.
Probably.
Yeah, or you have to pay extra or something. So he gets a helicopter, like a air of medevac, comes in to pick him up, and then as they're landing, all of his team comes rushing out of the woods, and they hijack this helicopter, and they're all dressed up in like security outfits, or actually they're
federal agents.
Federal, because they're we find out they're going to the Treasury.
Yes,
which I guess there's a Treasury building in Seattle.
Okay,
sure, in the federal building. So now, as they're setting that up, they're taking over this thing, and they're flying into this federal building in Seattle. Meanwhile, Eric Roberts, we're introduced to his character.
I figured out this ringing noise the other day. Watch this. Hello?
Yes.
Who
he is I guess kind of down on his luck at this point. He is a former federal agent. Yes.
Laid off because of budget cuts, which we'll talk about later. Because boy, do they like mentioning budget cuts.
Oh my God.
Budget cutbacks. The same reason they fired us all.
There's one particular point where it's just like, oh, so you had to rewrite the script on the fly for that part. Okay, we'll get to it later.
Okay. So we're introduced to him and his son, which I can't remember his son's
name.
Jeremy, yeah. His son, who's like an edgy boy with his piercings and his sweet dyed hair.
He reminded me of Dexter Hall. Is it Offspring? Dexter Holland, right? The Offspring's lead singer.
Oh, maybe. I don't know if I know what the lead singer of the Offspring looks like.
Post the dreads, where he just went like spiky frost tips. And
I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
I don't know if I know what the lead singer of the Offspring looks like. I'll take your word for it. You big Offspring head, Kyle?
I don't know. I totally butchered his last name. Probably. I know his first name is Dexter. Anyways.
But they're combining families. He's divorced. This son is from his first marriage. He's now dating this new blonde lady, which I don't remember her name.
Fiona.
Yes,
I actually remember the names on this one.
Good, well done. Fiona and she has an older daughter, like an adult, like a teenage daughter, and they don't like each other.
Honey, they got to get along eventually, otherwise you're never going to make this thing work. Just chalk it up to future sibling rivalry.
It was the amount of creepy, like, we're going to become sibling
I
sexual
was
tension.
like, somebody's gonna get stuck in a washing machine by the end of this movie. Like, I was where this was going 100%, because they have this weird, like, they don't like each other. Like, he hates her,
Yeah.
or whatever, and because she's like stuck up and like he calls her a princess all the time. And I was like, are they trying to set up like weird chemistry between the future step siblings in this movie? It's very weird. They don't ultimately.
No, because this is a wholesome movie with Eric Roberts, okay?
But I thought that's where it was going. I thought they were gonna, by the end, we're gonna like making out, and they're gonna like come across them making. I mean, they're not related. They barely know each other. It's just, yeah, it was something. It was a weird little element with the
Eric
two kids.
Roberts would come in. He's like, "Look, damn it, I'm a former federal agent. None of that hanky panky in my place."
Yeah.
Now, if you excuse me, I need to put on my loafers.
He does wear loafers, except he doesn't, because his kid's like, "Dad, come on, put on my cool shoes, black sneakers, I guess, or whatever."
You're not wearing those shoes, are you?
I was.
Yeah. Wear mine.
So they're going to a basketball game. He got them tickets to a basketball game, but first they got to go by the federal building and pick up Fiona.
Do you think whoever did the wardrobe for this movie like had a stroke in the mid or early 90s and just never recovered?
This
Eric
movie
Roberts
is 99.
Yeah, but Eric Roberts is wearing like faded blue jeans and a fucking sweater.
This is much more of a early 90s wardrobe in this film than a late. I bet that's just what Eric Roberts was still wearing in
Like,
the 90s.
I don't know,
He just came to set.
His son's dressed properly, but I'm thinking the son like went to the wardrobe person and was like, can look, this is Dexter from The Offspring. Can I just dress like that?
I feel like more likely Eric Roberts just wore his clothes. Eric Roberts is just always dressed the exact same.
Your dad in the early 90s?
Yes, Eric Roberts is my dad in the early 90s. He's everybody's dad in the early 90s, and he has not changed since then. That's how he dresses.
The only thing we were missing in this movie that would have made it oh so great was him getting a flip phone, opening it up, and going, "All right, let's go."
He needs it on a belt holster. He can't have it in his pocket. He's got to have it on a holster on his belt. That's the only way dads can know how to hold a cell phone. And this kid is very embarrassed by his dad being a security guard. Such an embarrassing profession.
Oh, no.
Like, he's like, "Oh, I guess you're
especially somebody who has like
now."
whatever clearances you actually need to be a federal agent.
Well, no, because he's just a security guard now.
Yeah,
he's not a federal agent
well,
anymore.
I forget how long the certifications last, but those go with you.
Well, I would assume that when he got laid off, that all of his like clearances and stuff like go away. But I have
no apparently not, because they're able to bring a fucking shuriken into the federal building.
Oh yeah, they just let him bring that in. We'll get to it, but I didn't think about that. They do just let him take that in. That's weird. Again, introducing the bad guys. They're not super important. They're not super memorable. It's maybe the worst part.
There's like two that are memorable, and that's the weapons guy.
Which one's
the one that snipes the cameras and stuff?
Oh,
and
yeah,
the one
yeah.
who's like aggressively like, "I'm gonna kick some ass." And then Tom.
Who's Tom?
The one who like disables the cameras and stuff and stops the elevator. And
he hates the one who hates the woman.
Yeah.
You know what your problem is, Tom? You just hate women.
Yes, that's the only one I remember. Yeah, the main guy I remembered, the main henchman I remembered, and that's who I was going to talk about, is this one guy who's like the second most important guy, and he hates this woman that they've brought who is dating or with Quentin is his name. We find out later it's Kraus because he's
so good.
He's living a double life. It's very exciting. This movie has a pretty good twist, I will say, that I wasn't expecting.
You weren't expecting it?
No, not at all.
I was expecting. I knew it was coming the whole time.
Oh my god, really? Because that one got me. I was not expecting it. I thought it was clever. So we're introduced and all these people, blah blah blah. The only important ones are the woman who's dating, and I can't remember her name. We don't find it out until later, I don't think. Who's dating Quentin? Quentin's our main guy, and then Tom, the guy who hates the girl. And so they start sniping security cameras, like you said, just boom, taking out security cameras on the roof, and then they land on the roof and they're in.
It's not like they're in a helicopter that is hovering above the streets of Seattle with gunfire going off.
Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody's even noticing it.
No, it's also really funny to me that I guess because there's like there wouldn't be a scheduled helicopter landing, so like the security guards would be like confused by that, because it's like, why wouldn't you stole a helicopter that is like a marked like rescue helicopter specifically, I thought specifically to like be able to land here, like so like it wouldn't just be like some weird random helicopter.
You would think that they would take the uniforms of the evac team, like one of their uniforms, and they're like, whoa, hang on, what's going on here? Somebody hurt? Yeah, you.
Boom. Oh, perfect. Rewrite. We're punching it up. Yeah, that would be perfect. And because that's what you'd think. And then they also don't have to shoot the security cameras out. Because I was like, what? Okay. Why did you steal the helicopter then if it doesn't do anything other than just you needed a helicopter? I mean, I guess. Sure, fine. And they're going inside. They have drilled this out. They're like, he's like, let's do this quick and hard, just like the drill. And
all right, let's do this quick and hard, just like the drill.
So they're going in. They go down to the security room. They knock out that security guard.
Disable the cameras. And
disable
stuff.
all the cameras and everything. And then this is their whole plan: is that there's brand new. This is the Treasury building, or part of it is the. Treasury.
They have the mint plates to print the bills and all this anti-counterfeit stuff.
Yeah.
And they say like the shelf life of these things is worth like $100 million.
Each of the new $100 plates has a useful life of 12,000 printed bills. There are 85 plates. So can anyone tell me how much money that is?
That's $102 million.
I thought it was $1 million, but was it $100 million? See, that's the thing that was confusing to me.
I think it was $100 million.
Maybe, okay, that makes a lot more sense because I misread. She does say at one point that the lifespan of these is they can print 100,
which does not seem like a lot.
They can print a certain amount of bills and then they're kaput, and they ask somebody to do the math. She says like the number, and the accountant is like, oh, that's blank amount.
Like, they're doing a tour, and one of the guys is an accountant. There's a whole bunch of people in it.
Yeah, so she's a tour guard. We didn't get to this part. He's going to pick up, Eric Roberts is going to pick up this lady, Fiona, his girlfriend, and her daughter. She's a tour guide at the federal building. And so she's giving a tour to these people, and they end up going on the tour. Him and Eric Roberts and his son. And like you said, as they get in, they got to go through metal detectors.
Yes.
And his son
empties his pocket. He's got a goddamn shuriken.
He's got a throwing star. And his dad pockets it, and they just let him take it in.
You don't need that. It's like, oh, wait, hang on, it's cool. It's Eric Roberts.
It's like, okay, well, one, you better murder somebody with that throwing star by the end of the movie, or I will come for you, film.
He also said, Jeremy said that his mom's boyfriend gave him it. Klaus? Is it Kraus or Klaus?
It's a throwing star. Mom's boyfriend Klaus gave it to me.
Klaus, great. And what does he do for a living? Make weapons in his basement?
I can't remember. It's one of the two. I think it's
very German.
I think it's Klaus. Yeah. I think it's Klaus.
And you're just like, okay, what? Why?
Yeah. His mom's new boyfriend gave him a throwing star. Sweet present, bro.
Two things, kid. First off, why is your mom's boyfriend giving you that? And B, what makes you think that you're getting it into A, a federal building, and B, an NBA game?
It was pre 9/11, dude. You could take throwing stars wherever you wanted. It didn't matter. They did not care. You could take a fucking throwing star into a preschool if you wanted. People would be like, whatever, go for it.
Well, all the kids would think you're instantly cool.
That is true. Nothing cooler than a dude with a throwing star. That is such a divorced mom's new boyfriend's kind of present to buy a kid. Is be like, hey, what's up, buddy? Hey, champ. Champ. Check out what I got you, champ. It's a throwing star. And the kid's like, I'm 20. Like, what are you? Because the kid looks like he's like 20. He's not like, he's not like 13 or something where he'd think it's super cool. He's like an adult. It's so stupid. Thanks for the throwing star, Klaus. Oh, man. But we didn't get, the whole point is they said they're taking them on this tour, and as they get up to the place where they're showing them the vault that has these printing press plates for the money.
Is it wrong for me to think it's kind of weird to have a vault on the 16th floor of a building?
I have no idea. Maybe that is weird. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
You would think it'd be in the basement where it's more easily reinforceable.
Yeah, you would think, but who knows? I don't know anything about vault construction.
This vault is reinforced concrete, 5 feet thick. The inner walls are stainless steel and are 36 inches.
I don't know, Jack. In Die Hard, isn't the vault up on one of the upper floors?
Which is dumb there too.
Yeah, sure.
The only reason I'm saying it's dumb is because like you ideally you want as few entry points as possible,
right?
And this way you got 6 ways to get into this 6 directions.
But here's the thing: you can't tunnel into the vault if it's on the 6th floor, Kyle. If they put it in the basement, they could tunnel through the wall. You know, I mean, like seriously, like that you could tunnel. People tunneled into shit, right? That's a thing that happens in things. Fuck you, Kyle. So they're getting these plates, and I have to say, like I said, you said it's 100 million. The guy does when he does the math for how much these can print before they're like go bad or whatever. And that makes more sense because in my head, I heard 1 million and I was like, boy, this whole plan is an awful lot of work for $1 million to split between like 8 people.
It's like we're going to knock over this convenience store for $20 on a pack of chewing gum.
Yeah, exactly. And they do this whole heist. They steal a fucking medevac helicopter and there's like 8 of them or whatever. And I'm like, you're going to split $1 million 8 ways for all of this work? Okay. All right, man. It doesn't seem worth it, but sure. But 100 million. All right. I could buy that.
Okay, what's the take? What's the take? All right, I got $30 in 5s and a packet of Big League Chew.
I would fucking kill somebody for a pack of Big League Chew, Kyle. I love great Big League Chew. Get out of town.
Hell yeah.
Get out of fucking town. I'll murder so many people. I used to, when I played baseball all the way through up through high school, I always had to have a pack of purple or a great Big League Chew.
Brian played in the outfield. I'm assuming.
And infield, you know, I played both. I played third base primarily, and then switched to the outfield some when I got older. But I played mostly third base.
Right-handed people.
Yeah, I was right-handed and had a pretty good arm, so I played third base a lot.
I was not allowed to be on the infield being a lefty.
You can play first base as a lefty.
Look at me.
Yeah, you don't have the height. You don't have the reach.
They stuck me in right field and hoped nothing went my way.
Oh man!
My job when I went up to the plate was not necessarily to get a hit, but was to be left-handed. So I crowded the plate and got hit by every fucking slider on the planet. I got hit so many times in baseball.
I don't know if it was because you're left-handed or just they were throwing at you. All right. So they're transferring the new plates, and I thought the whole thing that I thought was really stupid. This is the moment where they are transferring these $100 million worth, $100 million roughly plates.
Yeah.
They have a tour there while they're doing
out in the open.
They're just like, oh, come on, guys. We'll show you our super top secret money printing plates, and we'll let you watch as the security guys transfer them over to. It's like, that seems like a terrible idea.
We have a moment where the security guy drops, I guess, a log or something like that. Logs. And Eric Roberts picks it up and hands it to him.
Eric Roberts is there now. Him and the crew have made their way inside. Yeah.
Now, then he locks eyes with the main dude, and they work together at one point.
He's like, Quentin?
What?
Security features are going to be on the new bills?
Quentin?
And he's like, Eric Roberts? And they're like, And they're very confused. And because he knows, Eric Roberts knows that Quentin also got laid off. We don't know any of the details yet, but
according to the people with way less calm about it than Eric Roberts was.
Calm down.
I'm calm!
Yeah. Quentin was a little upset when he got laid off. So they know each other, and then somebody pulls the fire alarm Quentin's crew, the bad guy's crew, is taking the plates, and as they're leaving, Eric Roberts is like, "Oh shit, it's there! I gotta get him!" And somebody pulls a fire alarm.
Yes.
I don't know who.
And then the people just open fire. You have both
giant shootout.
The security, the actual security people, and Quentin's security people are just exchanging gunfire.
Yeah, they're just spraying with like MP5s or whatever. Yeah. It's like spraying bullets
while
at
this
each other.
While this tour is still here. All right, now everybody, if you notice here, the federal agents have high stringent security, and they are willing to use any force necessary to protect the Treasury.
So they all hit the ground, gunfire everywhere. Eventually, it all falls. A handful of people die, like the security guards and a couple of the Like the actual security guards, and then a couple of the guys working with the bad guys all die. But all of our tour's fine and survives. And they all get up and they all seem very chill with having just been in a fucking shootout with like a million bullets flying everywhere. Oh, and they're all like fine.
The security people who were shot, no medical aid rendered to them whatsoever.
No, they don't even check on him or anything. And
they check on him.
Oh, do they?
Eric Roberts does to make sure he has a gun so he can take it.
Oh, yeah. But immediately Eric Roberts is like, I gotta go stop him. And people start volunteering to help him. I'm like, what is happening?
I'll volunteer.
What? Stuart, are you out of your mind?
I fought in Korea. I mean, it can't be that much different.
You were a lot younger then.
Yeah, I'm young.
Why are these people like, I'll help you? Yeah. Well, it's like just random people on the tour are like, yeah, I'll come with you. I was in the Korean War. It can't be that different. I'm like, what is... Well,
it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. But also, Eric Roberts says, as he's leaving...
You don't have to do this. Don't do this.
Somebody has got to do something. I love you. I love you.
Why? Who cares? Who cares? Let them steal the plates.
Great lines.
Like, just let them steal the plates. Fucking who cares, Eric Roberts? Are you that committed to this job that laid you off a year ago?
You know these plates are stolen. Right. They have a log on the serial number.
Just report them.
Useless.
They're useless now. I felt like they would be useless. Maybe not. Who knows? I don't know how it works, but whatever. And it's like, they stole them. It feels like you could just figure out a way to void that batch of plates or whatever. I don't know, but I thought it's like somebody's got to fucking stop them. Like, you really don't. You just let them go. It's fine.
Do you think it's like just the opportunity? Because like you became a federal agent and whatnot, and the whole you're like, I need an opportunity to just shoot some stuff and protect the government or something like that.
Yeah.
This is his chance. He's just got bloodlust that's been building up over the past 20 years.
He's like a fucking... I gotta prove myself to my son. He thinks my job's lame. No.
He made fun of my loafers.
Made fun of my loafers and said I'm fucking mall cop. I'll show him mall cop. Fucking Sharukin a guy later.
2 minutes.
That's it. Ninja Star.
So he gets up to the roof, and as he's up there, the other security guard who they knocked out in the camera room also shows up with a machine gun and just starts shooting at everybody and gets murdered.
I don't know why this went down the way it did. It could have just been as easy as a stray bullet from the injured guy hits the helicopter pilot.
No. The helicopter starts leaving with the plates. Eric Roberts
jumps on it.
Why? Because he thinks he can stop it somehow? I don't know what he was thinking. It's so stupid. He's hanging on the skids and then he climbs up into the helicopter.
And the pilot pulls out a gun and he's trying to shoot Eric Roberts, but Eric Roberts is like, "Here, you should shoot yourself instead."
Shoot yourself instead. Here, you should shoot yourself. He invites him to shoot himself instead. Like, the pilot obliges.
Like, I mean, what are you gonna say? No to Eric Roberts?
You're being very polite about asking me to shoot myself. So okay, bang. And then he starts crashing the helicopter.
His like slowly losing consciousness and cognitive faculties as he's bleeding out and or has a punctured lung is incredible. Because every single shot he's just like
and then he starts veering around and he clips one of his skids a gas line on the roof of the why is there an exposed gas line on the roof of the whatever, sure. And so he clips this exposed gas line, and we have to there was a moment earlier when they were leaving to get on the helicopter where one guy in slow-mo cool guy walk tosses a cigarette. That was important, Kyle. We see it hit the ground. It was important for a moment coming up.
The helicopter starts going down the
turns
building.
into a CG monstrosity, and then starts crashing.
The scaling's a little off.
It goes from a very real helicopter for a while to a very clearly bad CG helicopter, and it starts, and then it crashes into the side of the building.
They're going down this building, right? The door is. They're going down the stairwell, which is clearly just a set because it just ends at certain points.
Yeah.
And they're like, we need to get into this room. Right when they open it, the freaking helicopter's coming in. Now, why is this particular floor just look like it's been completely gutted and it's under construction?
Because maybe it was.
I guess so.
Like in Die Hard, there's the floors that are under construction.
Is because there's a whole bunch of tanks in it. under pressure.
Oh yeah,
Fuel
there are
tanks
like fuel tanks or something, or yeah,
but
butane.
You'd have to.
My dad says butane's a bastard gas.
You have to be looking for it. They keep cutting back to it, and you're like, "Well, where is this at?"
Yeah.
Oh, it's when they
It's the
busted it
construction.
open.
Yeah. So the helicopter crashes, explodes the whole floor. They get out into the stairwell again, and I gotta go up. They got to climb up because it's all on fire. Like that whole, like the 10th floor, I think it was, that got hit by the helicopter, roughly, something like that. 6th floor, I don't know. Because eventually they get to a point, so the fire's below them now, and they're climbing up the staircase. Meanwhile, the cigarette on the roof blows up.
The top, but the bad guys are already getting down.
They're getting down.
Like, oh, there's going to blow up.
Huge fire and explosion on the roof. Now we have a giant fire on the roof and a giant fire on the 10th floor, and they're like stuck between.
Fake building model that is slowly burning from top and bottom.
Yeah,
is beginning to look
looks very good. It looks very good. And they.
Oh, we need to bring up the girl, the Quentin girlfriend.
Yeah.
Well, so she's supposed to be lookout for them.
Oh yeah, she's stuck in an elevator.
There's a shootout going on, and she's like, "I'm gonna go help Quentin." You have like, I guess a 9mm or stuff. Okay. Anyway, they keep telling her, "Don't get into this mess." She does, and then Tom, who is a dick and hates her, is like, "Fuck you! You're stuck in an elevator now."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he sticks her in an elevator.
So now we have person stuck in an elevator. Eric Roberts, who's hunting the bad guys somewhere, the bad guys who are at the top floor, and then Arturo is stuck at like just below the bottom fire.
Yeah,
so we have
just
like
above the bottom fire.
It's a beautiful mess.
It is a huge mess of people trapped in like 6 floors in a burning building that is burning both directions, and it's a ticking clock to say the least. And I have this written here, and I think it's the old lady. I'm pretty sure it's the old. There's an old lady in the tour. And the way she delivers her lines, at one point she yells,
"A helicopter crashed into the side of the building!" A helicopter? Yeah. What do you mean?
Like really loudly. It's very strange. She has some great delivery. She's like a panic. So like she panic screams all of her lines. Like she's playing like the terrified old lady, and her deliveries are fantastic.
I can't do this. I'm terrified of heights.
A guy falls out of a building. There's a great stunt where I don't even know who this is. I think it's one of the bad guys.
Yeah.
Eric Roberts throws him out a window or something.
Eric Roberts is trying to contact the outside.
Is that what it is?
I think so. And then these guys are coming in, and Eric Roberts hears them. He knocks down one of them, but the gun's like, dude, the guy who was like sniping the cameras is like, "I'm gonna get into a fist fight with Eric Roberts and kick his ass." He hits Eric Roberts in the back once, and Eric Roberts' back completely goes out because he's just like, no, you found my weakness. Poor lumbar support.
But how does he get kicked? He kicks somebody out a window.
No, he doesn't kick him out the window.
What happens?
Because Eric Roberts is just like, "Oh, I'm gonna lean over on this desk," and the dude like flying kicks at Eric Roberts, misses him, and just flies out the window.
I feel like I must have had a mini stroke during that moment because I don't remember that happening, but I remember watching a guy fall out of a window. I watched this morning. It's
incredible
like 3 hours ago.
He goes through the fire as well on his way down.
Yeah, and then he lands. It's a pretty good stunt because he lands on a car and it looks pretty good. He like crunches on a car. Again, very much going for the Die Hard scene where the guy falls out of the building onto the car.
So when the emergency crews show up, when the emergency crews start showing up, it instantly goes from day to night.
Yeah.
Like just instantly.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like we go from 3 p.m. to like 9.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to. So the crews start showing up because there are these fires, and now we cut inside to our tour group. They're down on the lower floor, and they're like, "We got to get up to the top because the fire below us. We got to go up. We got to go up. We can't stay down."
This is totally wrong. We should be going down, not up. He's right.
Look, the way down is blocked.
And one of the guys, like one of the annoying guys who dies eventually, is like, "No, I don't wanna." And they're like, "We got to do it anyways." And they're like, "All right, fine." And they start climbing the stairs. And this is where another explosion happens on the roof or something, and the staircase falls.
It's so good. So this is where your cost on miniatures and practical effects really paid off.
I had to rewind and watch this like 6 times,
so
Kyle.
The parts of the stairwell start falling
crumble.
down, and they're clearly just made of fiberglass.
Styrofoam. They're clearly made of fucking
like there's no weight to them.
Well, because one of them, the best fucking part, the son, the son is running up the stairs, and an entire staircase, Kyle, an entire 8 steps of concrete and rebar and whatever
lands on his head,
3 stories onto his head, but you can see in the movie it bounces off. I lost it laughing when that staircase hits him in the head and goes boink. And I was like, holy shit. So I was like, was that an accident? Was that on purpose? Or did he mean to get did they mean for him to get hit in the head by that? And I was like, because he'd be dead. Yeah. He'd be dead. He'd 100% be dead.
He just got a boo-boo.
He got hurt and they're like, he's bleeding a little.
I'm okay.
He's okay. He's just bleeding a little.
And he's like unconscious for like 10 seconds and then he comes to. I was like, bull fucking shit. Best case scenario, he has a horrible concussion, like just a nightmare concussion. Worst case, most likely scenario, he has like major brain bleed. Major brain bleed, fractured skull, and he's like gonna die in like 10 minutes. Like he got fucking hit by a staircase that fell like 4 stories onto his head. It's so fucking stupid. Good Lord. And I love one of the people says, why didn't he get out of the way? Why didn't he get out of the way? I was like, of the staircase he couldn't see falling? Yes. And the one annoying guy's like, why didn't he get out of the way? It's like, what is happening?
They get a little scarf and they tie it around his head. It's like, God, I feel so much better now.
Yep. He's like, all right, I'm all right, Dad. And this is where Eric Roberts finds them because the one lady's screaming help and Eric Roberts stumbles across them in the stairwell. And now he's up above where the stairs fell from. So they're separated.
They're getting too much smoke where they are, so they got to climb up.
Yeah, because the fire's coming up.
Goes through this nice little executive's office, like in the federal building. Yeah, and it just gets a whole bunch of curtains and ties them together. And has so much confidence that every single one of these people
can climb
this.
Yeah. 2 of them are old people, like very elderly people. One of them, that old guy, he fainted like 30 seconds before this happened.
He has a bad heart.
Yeah, he has a bad heart. He like passed out like a minute before in the movie, and I'm like, that dude is not climbing that rope, not happening. But I guess what it is that he gets like the more like fit people first, like I can't remember the one guy's.
One of them is a student.
Yeah, one of them is a student or something. And then there's some. I think he gets them first, and then they just tie the other people and haul them up because he hauls up the woman and stuff.
Yeah, there's a part where Eric Roberts is just hanging off the side of it with this, and obviously he's trying to brace himself on the railing to get more leverage. But he just looks like a kid, just legs dangling off the side of something. Like looks so dumb.
I love the old lady who's been super annoying this whole time. They tie her into it and they start hauling her up. And it's like, man, if this old lady falls into that raging fire below, I will laugh. I will laugh a lot. I won't feel good about it, but I will laugh a lot.
If only.
But they all make it out of this one. The last one to come up is Fiona, and she almost doesn't make it, but Eric Roberts grabs her hand and hauls her up. At the last second, and saves her. Meanwhile, we cut down to the ground. As you said, all the emergency responders are showing up and everything, and they're explaining the big issue of what's going on here. And Kyle, I am not a fire scientist, but I feel like this is bullshit. They're saying that the 2 fires are burning from both ends.
Yes.
And they say, and I love somebody has to do the classic movie line. This woman starts explaining what's going to happen, and like one of the federal agent guys is like, English, please.
But when fusion occurs, oxygen undergoes a cascade effect.
Hold it. English, please.
Because of course you got to say that. And she's like, the fires are burning from both ends. When they meet in the middle, we're going to get a flashover that's going to cause an explosion and vaporize anybody in the building.
When that happens, anyone who is inside the building, anyone who's still alive at that point, will be burnt to a crisp.
And I'm like,
what
is that? I mean, I know like flashovers and backdrafts and
Like, a
fire can do weird things. I'm aware.
A backtrack makes sense because you're having a sudden rush of oxygen.
Right, yeah,
in.
like when a door gets opened or something. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't understand why the two fires meeting means it all I don't know if that makes any sense or they just made that up completely because it sounds like bullshit to me.
Maybe if it caused more pressure, but like
I just don't understand how the two fires coming together means that somehow they like explosively combust like a backdraft. Whatever, sure, if you say so.
Okay, you got two fires burning towards each other. When they meet, they reach a flashpoint and explode.
But that's our ticking clock, is that when these two fires meet on the 16th floor, everything's going to blow up and anybody in the building is going to be just instantly killed, is what they say. If you say so. I don't believe you. So they go through some backstory explaining that Quentin also used to work at the Treasury building with Eric Roberts. They both got laid off a few years ago because of budget cuts, blah, blah, blah. And that
goddamn budget cuts.
The goddamn budget cuts.
Budget cutbacks. The same reason they fired us all.
Eric Roberts talks to the people down on the ground with his walkie-talkie, and they think he's a bad guy for a while. Like the one guy does, the one asshole guy is like, I think he's in on it.
We know you're in on it. What we don't know is whether you've got the tour group held hostage.
And if so, what their condition is.
What? Are you nuts?
Or something. I don't understand.
It's 100% like Die Hard here, where he's trying to convince them, like, look, I'm not one of the guys.
I'm not one of them. And he's like, I think he's actually one of them. Blah, blah, blah. Also, the kids start to get along a little bit here. Like the two kids that they have a moment of bonding.
I was really hoping that Eric Roberts would have kept the loafers and he would have lost them at one point, and then it would go full Die Hard where he has no shoes.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were going to do something because he puts on the other shoes. I was wondering if that was going to play any role, like because his son is like, here, wear these tennis shoes, and I was like, is that going to play a role later? And it absolutely does not at all. Nothing comes back with it.
It would only been better is if something would have happened with the sneakers and the loafers would have been just fine, and they would have left, like father-son thing where they're just like, Jeremy, let me tell you about loafers.
Let me tell you about loafers.
What?
Is that a thing? Is that a speech or is that a talk your dad had with you, Kyle? Pulled you aside, said, son,
my dad wears loafers.
Let me tell you about loafers. It's a weird conversation.
I don't know anybody who casually wears loafers.
No. I don't know if to be fair, I don't know if I know what loafers are, Kyle. I'm that middle class, lower middle class. I don't know what loafers are.
I'm cool, huh?
What else happens? I don't fucking know. We'll just get to the reveal. This is basically it. Some more talking happens. Some stuff happens. And they end up finding the one. They hear the woman on the. Well, they're standing near the elevator, and they end up hearing a woman screaming in the elevator, and they go to help and get her out.
Yeah, so they open the elevator shaft, and Eric Roberts is like,
Michelle.
Tate?
Michelle?
Michelle? Mom? And you say you saw that coming?
First off, I knew it was gonna come just because he's like boyfriend in class. Like, okay, so the only guy who's kind of German-esque in this entire film is the bad guy.
I
understood that from a writing standpoint.
Yeah,
but then I also looked at the woman playing Michelle, and I was like, this woman's like young.
Yeah, I was very taken aback by that twist of like this reveal that one of the people in on the heist is Eric Roberts' ex-wife / this kid's mom. I thought that was clever. I was like, I
looked up the actress, and she's like only 12 years older than the son.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had him young, I guess. Real young.
Eric Roberts robbing the cradle.
Yeah.
Literally.
So meanwhile, while they're like reuniting with their mom, the ex-wife and stuff, the two asshole guys on the tour, the accountant and the other guy, and I don't know what his thing is.
We're gonna take the express elevator because this elevator has friction brakes.
It's got friction brakes, and we can just ride it down to the bottom. We'll ride right through the fire. And they get on the elevator, and everybody's like, this is a bad idea. And they're like, fuck you. and they pull the brakes and then they immediately explode.
Yes.
They just immediately fall into the fire and explode. It's like, well, great, that went well. I also love the old lady at this point. The old lady gets on the call with like the federal agent, like on the walkie, and brings some real, I'd like to speak to your manager energy. She's like
100% Karen.
Yeah, she brings some real strong Karen energy and is like,
if you don't get your facts straight, get your act together and get us out of here. You're gonna wish you never crossed paths with Audrey Lawrence.
I am a personal friend of Governor Davis.
I know the governor, like, I don't know, she's like knows somebody who like is his boss or whatever, and she's like, and I'll have words for him.
Apparently that's enough for him to be like, I guess we should probably listen to him. She knows the governor.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty great. It's like, good for you. Way to use that energy for good. So they're all got to get to the 16th floor. Eric Roberts has this big brain idea of there's a vault on the 16th floor.
We can just use the vault.
We can just hide in the vault. And he's like, you guys think if we got in the vault and the building explodes, we'll survive? And they're like,
there's a vault on 16. It's steel surrounded by concrete. Is it possible it could survive the blast?
Well, there's the heat and the structural factors to consider, but possible.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, maybe it's worth a shot.
I mean, right
guess.
now it's no worse than just dying.
Yeah, it's literally
burning to death.
Literally the only shot you got. So give it a go. And so they got to get back to the 16th floor. Some other shit happens. One of the bad guys catches fire and falls off the stairs. And actually, a pretty good stunt. Yeah. It's a pretty solid stunt.
And the thing I need to bring up, because Quentin's like, we need to get to the 18th floor. We need to get to the post office because they have their own special elevator.
This elevator is an express. Sealed concrete shaft. No stops. So no smoke, no fire.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Special express elevator.
I was super expecting, because one of the guys in the tour group worked for the post office. I'm surprised he did not suggest that at any point.
Yeah, like, we got this special elevator that the post office uses because it's apparently a special elevator that's sealed off. There won't be any fire. It'll be fine. And they go, Klaus and the other bad guys go to get it, and
they open it, and it's a brick wall because
budget cuts.
Yeah, budget cuts.
Budget cuts.
And what I'm thinking happened is they were going to have a scene involving this, and then
budget cuts to the movie.
Yeah.
Literally budget cuts.
And so they had to rewrite it on the fly where they open it. It's just a brick wall. They're like, those damn budget cuts. Looking at you, producers.
Staring right down the barrel of the camera. Fucking budget cuts. I really hope that's the case. That would be fantastic. Oh, that would be so good.
They're all frantically trying to get to the vault now because they know that's the only semi-safe spot.
They're all on that floor. Our guys are hiding in the vault. They realize that somebody's going to have to close the vault because they can't close it from the inside. As they're hiding in the vault, the bad guys show up, and Eric Roberts sneaks out to try to get them, to like kill him or whatever. And he gets a shot lined up on one of them, and click. His gun doesn't fucking shoot, and he's got to reload. And then they have a big shootout, and he's fighting all these guys, and he's about to get killed by the guy who hates the Michelle. We find out, and
Michelle's packing.
Bam! Nails this guy. Yep. I don't know what her motivations are at all. She's just like everywhere.
She's the lookout. So
right,
but like she's definitely the one who's like where it's like, oh, this isn't worth it at this point.
No, she's like, I'm turning on these motherfuckers, and she murders that guy, and then
it's not worth it for anybody at this point because guess where your fucking your plates are. They're fucking they're melted in the helicopter crash.
That's right. The helicopter exploded with the plates, so there's nothing. Yeah, you're getting nothing out of this anymore. So him and Eric Roberts and Quentin get into a fight in the vault. They're in the vault and they have like a moment and
Ninja Star.
Eric Roberts pulls out the fucking throwing star, hits him right in the hand with it, so he drops his gun, and then they get into a fight. It's fantastic, and I love they're fighting out in the main area, and I'm like, why are you asked? Nobody in the vault helps him. It's like one guy. He doesn't have a gun anymore.
And it's because they have like Jeremy, who maybe has a concussion.
Yeah, but there's that student guy who's like
college,
a fit guy. He's like and he seemed eager to help earlier, but now he's nowhere to be seen. He's just sitting in the vault, I guess. But Eric Roberts ends up. The bad guy grabs a lamp and it's like swinging a lamp at him.
Eric Roberts has a chair.
It's like, what is happening?
It's great. Like, this is literally like office. It's just office fight. Office supply fight.
Office fight. Yeah. They just start wailing on each other with office supplies. And then
it just starts raining haymakers.
Yeah.
Eric Roberts does.
Beats him unconscious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, beats him unconscious, and then Eric Roberts goes over to the vault and is like, I'll save you guys. And locks it. And he locked himself out. But Eric Roberts got a fucking plan.
Yes.
He's the man with a plan.
Finds, I guess, a very well-sealed cabinet.
Yeah, it looks like a metal cabinet that would not be sealed well, but apparently it is. He gets in this metal cabinet or closet or whatever. There's a hole in the wall that he somehow
feeds a hose through.
And they say earlier in the movie, the fire guy says there are like 1,000-gallon water tanks on certain floors.
So
I thought he said 1,000. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Each floor is equipped with a fire hose
and a 1,000-gallon water tank. Now, you may be able to use that to slow the fire down.
Point being is that each floor has its own water supply to fight a fire. And so he just fills this entire cabinet up with water and saves him and Quentin.
He gets in though, and I was like, it's not the worst plan in the world. I don't know if it would work, but it's worth a shot if you got nothing else. Yeah. He literally fills this entire closet up with water. And so he's like,
the only thing is, I would think like the explosion, because like when a shockwave goes through water, it can be a lot more disruptive.
It would like melt them. Like they would like become they would turn into like pudding in the water.
All their bones would just go and just
it would seem like that would probably be what happens, but who knows. And I love too. So the explosion goes off, and then the next shot we get is the vault being opened, and the fire department's there, and they're rescuing our people in the vault, and they're like, Is Eric Roberts? Did he survive? What happened? And then they hear like a banging and a creaking, and the fucking cabinet falls open, and just hundreds of gallons of water goes everywhere. And I want to ask you this, Kyle. So we saw in the movie, he fills that thing up. He is completely underwater. Was he underwater that whole time? Because from the time the explosion goes off till the time the fire department gets up there,
it would have gone any higher than that hole. But
yeah, I don't know. I guess then maybe he was able to get.
But let's just pretend that Eric Roberts
was he holding his breath for like 20 minutes. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Because like there's no way for the fire department to get up there easily.
No, not quickly. They got to put out all the fire. I mean, like even though like
put out all the fires. And there's no like working elevator or anything. The stairs are collapsed.
Stairs are fucked. Yeah, it's like they would have taken them quite a while to get up there, you would think. But apparently,
even if he'd been fine breathing, he might have died of hypothermia.
Just sitting in the water tank for 3 hours while they get the fires under control. Yeah, it's who knows. I thought it was kind of fun though. And now they're all one big happy family.
There's a point though where they're arresting Quentin and taking him away. And him and Eric Roberts look at each other, and there's a music stinger.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
What?
Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Is it going to be like
you're expecting that moment where like the guy survived, like the end of Die Hard.
They just take him away, and the movie's over.
And it was such a bait and switch because of this being so much like Die Hard. You're expecting that moment.
You're expecting it, like Klaus gets up
and then somebody else saves the day or whatever. Like when Carl Winslow shoots him in Die Hard. You're expecting that moment, but no, because the music, like nothing. I was like, what's that? I was again like budget cuts, maybe like they're like, we don't have time. We had a moment here where we planned to do a cool thing where he tries to kill him,
and the editor got like R1 editor notes or something like that, and it's like we'll just put this music in here. But the scene's not happening.
But just put the music cue in. All right, fine. But they're all one big happy family, and we end on a shot of the building just in flames, like, or no, I guess it's not in flames anymore, but like completely fucked up.
Yeah,
like it's just all the windows blown out,
husk of its former self.
Yeah, Yes, and that's Heaven's Fire. And again, we may ask, why is it called Heaven's Fire? I'm literally.
If it had anything to do, fire, yes. Heavens,
literally nothing. I don't know. I can't connect one iota of where that title came from to the movie. Like, there's nothing. Is the building like have heaven in the name? Is there? There's nothing. No characters are named that. I don't understand it. It should be called like Treasury Fire or so, like what? Like, I don't understand. It's so fucking dumb. It should be called Eric Roberts on Fire. It should be the name of Eric Roberts on Fire. The end. I don't know, Kyle. What is this movie? You picked it. You decide. I can't decide.
It's kind of bad.
I think it's bad.
Like, the stairwell scene is absolutely
That's hilarious. The funniest part of the whole movie is when the kid gets hit with the styrofoam staircase.
And Eric Roberts constantly being like, your dad is amazing because he's Eric Roberts.
Yeah.
And he just kind of plays Eric Roberts.
Yeah. But it's not super...
It's pretty boring.
It's kind of boring. And it's not that bad. Like, a lot of the acting and the stuff is like fine. Yeah, CGI is not very good. Yeah, there's some great moments, but it's not overall, I would say it is bad.
It doesn't have that one quality that we look for, which is like holding your attention and entertainment the whole time.
And it's not quite there. Not quite there. That's going to do it for this episode. As always, you can do us a giant favor. Head over to patreon.com/GBorBB and support us for $2.5 or I think that's it. Whatever. Just support us for however much you want and you get access to stuff, including bonus episodes of a podcast where we do stuff like answer your questions. We're recording one right after this where we're going to answer a bunch of patron questions. You can go on there and you can ask us anything you want, and we may or may not answer it. But we usually do answer it. It's been a while since we did this. I forgot how to do it. I just did that.
This film is lit.
I have a podcast called This Film is Lit. We're talking about movies that are based on books. When this episode is out, the most recent episode will be The Bourne Identity. We're talking about The Bourne Identity. So that's that. Kyle, Twitch stream sometimes, twitch.tv/the things.
GBorBB _Kyle, GBorBB _Brian. Lastly,
in stores
at a Walmart near you, probably in the Midwest. I don't know if they're in Costco's yet, but you can get your own copy of Interviewing Monsters and Bigfoot, where I, in fact, do make a special guest appearance.
Boo, your name's not on the box.
No, it's
I was hoping your name would appear on the box.
No,
I knew it wouldn't, but I was hoping. I was hopeful that it would be on the box.
I was just a lowly camera operator.
I was about to say, I know they don't normally put first AC or whatever on the box, but you never know. So yeah, check out Interviewing Monsters and Bigfoot.
Siri?
Interviewing Monsters and Bigfoot. Did that sound like Siri? Whatever. In a store near you or streaming on Amazon and other places. Tubi? Is it on Tubi?
Maybe. It probably will be.
And finally, happy birthday, Kyle, again.
Yay!
All right, bye.